Hello, and now we are going to be working with 3 statements instead of 2. And now we have to figure out how that changes things. So, first off, you may notice the table got bigger. Now, with 2 statements, there are only 4 answers for the main operation, because as we know, there are only 2 answers that it can be true or false. So there's the 2. And if there are 2 statements, it's 2 squared, which equals 4 operations. But there are 3 statements right here, so it's 2 to the third power of the third. 2 cubed, which means it's 8 operations that it can be. So that's how we know. Now, moving on, we have to determine what the operation of the statement is. And as we can see, there are 2 operations outside of the parentheses. So which is it? Is it the negation or is it the conjunction? And we know it's the conjunction because negation, it comes earlier in the order of it comes earlier in, well, as we can see, complete the columns of the simple statements and then their give negations if they are relevant. So it comes earlier than 5, which is complete the column under any remaining connectives. So as negation comes earlier, it is not the answer we are looking for. It is a conjunction. So that would be the last thing we find. Okay. So now we know our P's and our Q's, and we know how to do that. It's T, T, F, F. T, F, T, F, T, F, T, F, T, F. But how do we do it here? Well, for P, it's pretty easy. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. There were 2 T's, now there are 4. There are 2 F's, now there are 4. Now where's the Q? Well, T, T, F, F, T, T, F, F. We just doubled what we had before. So there was 1 T, now there are 2. There was 1 F, now there are 2. But it's still in an alternating pattern. Okay, but what do we do for R? So R is a new addition. So we remember that we were just trying to find out all possible combinations of P, Q, and R. And a way to figure that out is to just alternate T and F for R. And that is how we will find all combinations. F, T, F. And just to double check, we go into our book, and it's correct. Okay, so we figure that out. Now on to the meat of the problem. Okay, so we see our Q right here. That is the easiest. T, T, F, F, T, T, F, F. Okay, I'm trying to do this okay. It's a bit wobbly, but bear with me. Okay, there we go. It's not perfect, but it's what we got. Okay. Alright, so T, T, F, F, T, T, F, F. Alright, negation of P. As we know, it's whatever the opposite of the statement is. Okay, and the negation of R, it's the same thing. Okay, so that is what we figured out. And now on to the operations. Okay. Alright, so we are trying to find, since what is first in the parentheses. So we're trying to find the disjunction of Q and negative P. Okay. Alright, so what do we know? A disjunction, it's OR, which means one of these has to be true for the disjunction to be true. So Q is true here, disjunction is true. Q is true here, disjunction is true. Q is false, negation of P is false, the disjunction is false. Again, it's false. Both are true, it's also true. Both are true again, it's also true. One is false, one is true, it's true. One is false, one is true, it's true. Okay. So we figure that out. Alright. Now I move on to the actual answer. The one thing we're looking for the most. Okay. So again, it is the entire statement. Q, disjunction of negative P, and then the conjunction of negative R. So it's a disjunction of Q and negative P, and the conjunction, okay, is the disjunction of Q and negative P in conjunction with negative R true or false? So we have to figure that out. And we can do this pretty easily. So remember, conjunction, it's and. So that means both of them have to be true for the conjunction to be true. Okay, so how do we figure this out? So what do we know here? We know this is true, but this is false. So that means the conjunction is also false. You see, in the next column, in the next row, disjunction true, negation of R true. So that means the conjunction is true. Both are false, it's false. One is false, one is true, it's false. Again, one is false, one is true, one is false, it's false. One is true, the other is true, it's true. One is true, one is false, it's false. Both are true, it's true. And that's how we do a table with 3 statements. I hope this is helpful. And we're going to do more math sooner or later. We're just going to do it. But yeah, if you have any questions about this, feel free to, ask me.